Alex, we're back at club after an interesting weekend racing at Daytona. Kind of run me through the weekend, the good, the bad. Just break it down for me.
Um, we started Daytona in the morning. We did a track walk, and then we come out for a couple practices. Did good, feel good on the track. Track is awesome, and have two qualifiers. Got P1 in both of them. Feel good on the track, and kind of see my race lines, and then we'll come out for the main event. Have a great start. Like I got P, yeah, I got second on the start. Made a quick pass on the landing, and just rode my race, feel good on the track, really comfortable on the track, and yeah, like 3 laps to go, got flat tire, tried to make it, but just just too too sketchy to ride that track on that flat tire and just decided to pull off, and yeah, a little bumped on it, but it's okay, it happens. But
And then you went P1 in qualifying in Glendale, and then went P1 in qualifying again
yeah,
in Daytona. So obviously, everybody could see that you had the speed, that you could put the lap down. But we've also seen people that qualify really good but don't race really well. Glendale, you had kind of a tough race, just a not the greatest start. Kind of got shuffled back, but made your way up, and then had a red flag restart, and then same thing. You ended up P5 in that race. And leaving Glendale, what was it that you really thought that you needed to change to have a better race in Daytona?
yeah, Glendale's a little tough. We work on some stuff. We work on the little whoops, got how to skim them a little more, but yeah, just work on little stuff on the track, figuring it out, feel good on it, and come out for Daytona. I felt way better than Glendale, and it was a better day for me, and just overall was better, and just trying to ride better.
Yeah, and it sucks that you worked on whoops after Glendale just for the whoops to break down so badly in Daytona, which then ended up being jumpers, which you here at club especially, you practice jump lines a lot. You've gotten better at skimming and everything like that. So um, there was, I would say there really wasn't a lot of talk about you going into that race, because you were P5. You weren't one of the top three guys, even though you did qualify P1. Um, I guess, was that something that you were like, I knew, like you told me, I knew I'd qualify P1. Like I knew I'd come out there on top. And then going into the actual main itself, did you feel like, hey, I just need to get a good start and I'm good? Like I could ride laps and just roll it out.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. I know I have a speed for it, and I just need a good start for it out front, and that's what happened. I just have a really good jump and have a good start and did a quick pass, so it helped me a lot. So, no, definitely we work on the wheels, but we don't need them. But still, good to work on them and feel good in the skin, so definitely helps.
Do you've rode a lot of different types of tracks before you came to club. You've rode a lot of different places. Um, was Daytona more of a familiar or more comfortable track because of the way it was versus Glendale?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, it's a little softer. I like it more, and feel comfortable on it. Definitely, I feel really comfortable all day, and I just try to do like clean laps every time I goes on the track, and yeah, yeah, I think it's more comfortable. I'd say, yeah,
And then you've been at club training for how long?
for what is it, 2.5 years, 2.5 years right now. Yeah,
And then before club, where were you at?
nowhere. I just started club, just done with my school, and came to club and started riding the dirt bike and tried to make it happen.
So when you got to club, had you really had any like formal training on how to ride a dirt bike or how to race or anything like that?
I raced before, uh, till 85s, and I stopped at 85s and didn't row for like 2 years. Just I thought I'm done with it, and then just figure it out with that we're gonna ride again and just start riding it again, and you just slowly build into it, and here we are, and not bad. Oh, that's slow.
So you've been at club for 2.5 years, and in that time, you've obviously learned how to ride Supercross in a short amount of time, in a very short amount of time. And this past year in the off season, starting in boot camp, you were training with, like they break it down in groups here. You were training with Group 2 originally, correct?
Yep.
And then you made your way up to Group 1. You were training with all the team guys, Freddie Norrin, all those dudes, to the point where you were starting to get up towards their lap times, correct?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I moved up to Group 1 to start riding with them, learning what they're doing different. Learn Supercross. Really love Supercross. Start getting better at it. So we keep learning every day. It's never stop learning. So
So the next race for you guys is Birmingham.
yeah,
How do you feel about that?
feel comfortable, ready. Seen to work on some stuff. Maybe find some different stuff to work on and come out. Just try to feel comfortable on the track again, and hopefully we'll have a flat tire.
And then, without seeing the track layout, you probably saw Birmingham last year, but without seeing the track layout, do you feel comfortable going into this race that you're ready to go out there and win?
Yeah, yeah. Just we'll see come out on the track. We'll see what the dirt looks like, what the track looks like, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how this goes.
Let's talk about the weekend. This past weekend, you got on the box, but the story that I think that really everybody doesn't know about is the fact that you weren't even supposed to be at that race. And you were basically put back on Supercross days before the race. You had already been switched over to back on the outdoors to, I'm guessing, prepping for qualifiers for Loretta's.
Yeah.
So you had been racing or riding Supercross in the off season with these guys training and stuff like that. And then they made the switch to take you off. And then last minute, they ended up getting you into futures, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So when you got that call, were you like, what was the deal?
So I was actually, I was at an area qualifier for Loretta's, and I got off the track, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in the camper and get on my phone a little bit, and I looked and I seen a text, and originally it said it said thanks Harv, and I was like, that sounds familiar. So I like clicked on the text, and it said Jesson has been emailed for invitation to SMX Next, and I was like, whoa. So like I ran outside, went and told my dad. I was like, hey, I just got invited to Daytona. He was like, no way. What like what are we gonna do now? So we had to figure out quick. Obviously, I finished racing that day and drove home. I got up early the next morning, tried to rinse off my bike a little bit, swapped suspension, and then tried to ride Supercross that day just to get a feel back for it. And yeah, so it was really really short notice. Um, just a week before. It was actually the Sunday before Daytona, and yeah, I got to ride 3 days on Supercross, and then we had to pack up and head to Daytona. So it's pretty sweet though.
And then on the day, I think you had said your original goal was to get just top 5.
Yeah,
That was the goal you and Tyler, one of the mechanics, had talked about. And essentially going into it, just go out there and have a fun time. But then you ended up qualifying 4th overall,
yeah,
which was big.
yeah,
Which you went 4th, another club rider went 3rd, and then another club rider went 1st.
yeah. It was super sick.
Yeah, so you guys were all in the top 5. So after qualifying, was it more of like were you like, man, like maybe I can be better than 5th, or maybe like maybe I can put it on the box, or was it one of those things of like, hey, I'm just gonna go race my race and that's it?
Yeah. So like my goal was 5th whenever I was still training, and then once I got invited again, I was like, it don't really matter how I do. Like I just kind of wanted to go ride my race and just have a good time, and then it just kind of all came along. I was not expecting to get top 5 in qualifying at all. That was a big surprise for me, and I was really stoked on that. Just no matter how the night went, I was happy with that. And whenever it came to racing, I was like, maybe I can get that top 5 now. Like that's really, it's in reach. And then yeah, I got into 5th, and I was happy with that. So I was just kind of riding my own race, and one thing led to another, and I ended up on the box. So it was unreal. So awesome.
So basically, your first ever Supercross race, you got in the podium, which is pretty out of the norm, I would say.
Yeah.
But to me, I think the funniest thing is that when this all happened, um, more or less, I think that even like the announcers and people didn't even know like that you had kind of like made your way into third because of some like basically the last two laps a couple guys went down. But um in the race you said that I think you were up to fifth at one point and then dropped back to eighth and then pushed back to fifth again.
Yeah.
So it's not that you couldn't have made it on the box. You obviously had the speed and everything like that. You had the ability, but um kind of talk me through the track. I mean, talking to everybody else, like the track broke down quickly. It was a pretty gnarly track.
Dude, it was actually really impressive how fast it got so rutted because I had thought as I was watching the first heat races, I thought we're gonna have a pretty smooth track, like it ain't gonna be that bad. And we got out there in the sight lap, I was like, it was just like how it was in our last qualifying, just absolutely brutal. But I I kind of liked it like that. It really separated a lot of riders, and just getting the jumps and riding consistently was what you needed to succeed in that. And that's what I was able to do. I was able to get up to fifth, and then I cross jumped on one of the big doubles and landed off the side of it, and a few guys went by, and I was able to get back by some of them. I think I was in sixth before Alex unfortunately ended up getting a flat tire, and then that bumped me to fifth. So and I was good with that honestly, and then a few other guys went down. So just riding my race consistently was kind of all I needed, and it really was really good.
Going into this season, was the goal to race SMX next, or was it more focused towards prep for Loretta's?
Um, yeah, that was originally the plan is get into SMX next and race that, but it got to a point where it looked like I wasn't gonna be able to race any of them. So that's whenever we made the decision to hop back on moto and just start getting ready, get a little jump on the competition and get back with the flow on moto and get ready for the areas and regionals and stuff. But um yeah, that was the plan, is to ride Supercross. And I whenever I got off Supercross, I ain't gonna say I was bummed, but I loved riding Supercross so much, and it was kind of weird getting back on while everyone else was still riding. So but I think it honestly was good for me getting back on moto, going fast again, and that it I think that definitely helped on both sides of moto and Supercross. Just and Daytona is really rutted, fast track, so that definitely I think it helped a good bit too. So
So now has the goal changed or has the focus changed? And now have you made the switch back to Supercross?
mhm.
Is the goal or is the plan to go to Birmingham the next SMX next round and race that?
Yeah, so actually the next morning I woke up Sunday morning and I already had an invitation for Birmingham. So that was pretty awesome. I was hyped on that, and I'm hyped to go racing again. It's super sick, and we'll be there with the with the boys this weekend, so or next weekend. So it's super good, and I honestly just keep on trucking along. Top fives is really the goal.
So even now getting on the box, the goal hasn't changed to get back on the box.
Well, I obviously getting on the box again would be awesome, but that one was kind of handed to me a little bit with the other boys falling down. So I'd like to really put in a good charge and get on the box like with good start and just be there the whole time.